Hello, good evening. So today we are going to see how we can perform a phishing attack or how we can secure ourselves and our friends, siblings from this spam, or either you can say from this phishing or frauds. So one of the very useful tool for the beginners, or even you can say for the attackers they are using for phishing, is a set tool. Set is something which you should aware about, like how you can actually deploy certain kind of attack. Now social engineering is something where anyone who is not only from the technical but also the person who is not from the technical background, like non-technical person, they do not require any kind of coding knowledge, any kind of programming language, any stuff regarding the technology, because it's totally uh, you can say not GUI based, but it's help you to provide a simple step. So the instruction is very useful for anyone who is using it, and has so far there is no any kind of coding and programming. So that's the reason it's considered as a non-electronic, where you are not using any kind of technical knowledge. So over here, if you guys are on the Parrot machine, you can simply go to the pen testing exploitation tools. Now over here, if you can see that we are trying to perform social engineering attack, but it's the kind of attack it's mentioned in the exploitation tool. So can anyone say why it's considered as an exploitation tool? Any one of you? Yeah, that could be one of the reason that you're exploiting humans and playing with the minds, but it is not the accurate answer, because over here you are trying to use this tool for gathering the credentials. So this is one of the method in the exploitation, because exploitation in general term, exploitation is something which where you are using certain kinds of payload, certain kinds of code written within that particular scripts or attachment. With the help of that, you are trying to gather the person identity, their personal information and credential. So that's why this particular set, your social engineering toolkit, has been placed under exploitation tool. No, Anand Kumar, the exploitation tools are not convincing the people. The way which you are delivering the content, that is playing a major role, because in different techniques we have a CKC, that is CKC method, in which we have the third method, that is delivery. Over there, the delivery method, or you can say the delivery technique, is very useful to gather anyone's credentials. So to convince people that this particular mail or this particular stuff is very useful, it's not the part of the exploitation, that is the part of the delivery, you can say, or that is the one of the core part of the social engineering. It's not the part of the exploitation. Exploitation is different and your social engineering is different. social engineering talks about how you are gathering the credentials, the stuff of the people by using different tools, whether using different methods. Now, if I can correlate with this, assume that I am a totally beginner and I am not aware about each and every stuff, but somewhat I know that this tool is very useful for gathering the credentials like personal information about the user, and I have successfully used this tool and I have gathered the credential. So in that case, the one who is not totally aware about all the stuff, but they are just randomly trying some tools and some techniques, at that time these people will be considered as a script kiddie. So over here, if anyone who is not having a accurate information about what they are trying to do with this particular stuff, they will be considered as script kiddie, because this is somewhat illegal, because to extract or to fetch someone personal information is not legal, because the person is not giving you the permission to enter in his or her privacy. So it's highly recommended that any one of you are willing to practice, just practice on your lab setups, or either on create some dummy mail or for dummy login pages, and then try to practice on that. Or else we are having different platforms, try to practice on that, but don't directly target anyone who is present or existing in the real world. So let's see what this actually help us. So over here I am going for social engineering attack. So right now we are targeting suppose anyone or any dummy user, but we are trying to gather their information by website attacks, because in this there will be no two-way authentication, there will be no bypassing method we are going to use. So next, what we are trying to gather exact information is that we are concerned about the credential. We want the user's password, their username, their email ID, and lastly, if there is more like their phone numbers, anything, so we will be able to fetch that. So over here I am simply using credential harvester. Lastly, it will ask in which way you want that particular site, like whether you want a web templates, you are going to site cloner, or whether you want that something to be import if you have already practiced. So right now I am going for the site cloner. So over here it's asking me to provide the IP address. So this IP address is of my system itself, because I wanted that the particular target or the victim who is performing anything on their machine remotely will be seen on my system. So that's the reason the host should be my system. Now let's assume we are trying for the Instagram. So I have provided the Instagram. And if any one of you are not able to see this message, that means this particular website has not been yet cloned properly. So until and unless this particular message is not prompted, you are not supposed to carry on the further task. So in my case, this particular website Instagram has been successfully cloned, and now I can perform the task. So over here what I am going to use, I am going to do for the browser. So over here let's go for the mail itself. So this is the mail, and I am sending to myself only. I have created this particular dummy mail for the lab practice itself. So let's say this is the updation. Information. Okay. And the very important thing is that it's asking for the web address. So you have to write down your own web address which you have provided. So that is my system address, and if you are not providing this particular http over here, it will not be able to fetch the information or the credentials from this particular link. So right now I am done and I am going to send. So over here, if you can see, it's opening the Instagram page only, but the IP address is my host machine. So if you are really concerned about your privacy, about the security, the very first thing whenever you are opening any kind of like web pages, just see the URL, whether the URL is proper or not. So this is one of the very first step to be secure yourself from any of this kind of frauds or your credential stealing. Also, what you can do, you can see whether this particular page is proper or not. So right now I have not customized, so that's the reason you can see that this particular URL is not proper, or it's not about the Instagram. But suppose someone who is a very much pro, or he is one of the advanced hacker, you will not able to categorize that this particular website is cloned or is the fraudulent website. So let's try to log in. So over here I have disconnected, so that's the reason it's not connecting. But still, what I have performed over here in this particular website will be reflected over here. So as you can see, what I was trying to do, like I have particularly selected that page and I am trying to log in. So that particular parameter has been reflected over here. And so for the security purpose, I have disconnected the Chrome. So that's the reason the login is not successfully done. But once your login will be successful over here, you will be provided with the username and with the password. So this is what your social engineering toolkit is actually helping you to gather the credentials or stuff of the person who is not present physically within your radius, but you can also gather the credentials if you are aware what their Gmail is. So the Gmail or your email ID is something very much important. You should be not sharing any of your stuff to any one very much frankly, you can say. So sometimes your mail, you can see there are a lot of spam mails. So that's the reason you have to be very precautious while clicking on any of these certain links from your mail. Not only from your mail, but specifically nowadays there are a lot of spam on your messages as well, from the phone calls as well. So you have to be very precautious that what you are sharing on the internet, with the phone, to your friends, to your sibling. Now this is what we have talked, that how an attacker is willing to gather your credentials without getting connected to you directly. So this is one of the way, but how you are supposed to protect yourself, or you can say how you are supposed to secure yourself. So for that, suppose right now I am the Windows user, and what I am trying to do, so what I am trying to do, I am using that particular link itself to log into the Instagram. So over here that page is been reflected. Now assume this is the same page just like the Instagram, and not the IP address, but over here suppose it has been written the Instagram URL. So at that time, how you are going to secure yourself? So for that, we have one of the best extension for all the browsers, not for the Chrome, but for the Bing, for Firefox, and for DuckDuckGo, all the browsers, we have one of the best extension, that is your Netcraft extension. Now what this netcraft extension actually useful is for that, it will display you the actual host name, site ranking, the country, and whether it's malicious or not. So over here you can see that this particular extension is saying that this particular this is the particular host address, and the site has been not ranked, though it's in Instagram, it has not been ranked over here, and it's saying that this particular website is seen for the very first time, and also you have to report this as a malicious URL. So over here you can click on this reason and you can provide why you are reporting this as a malicious website. And if you want to detail investigate on it, you can simply click on the host and you can see it will say you that it's a private address. So over here it's saying that it's a private net block. So why Instagram will use a private address to use your credentials or to host anything? And at the same time, let's try to check for the actual Instagram. So this is the actual Instagram, and over here let's check what this extension is saying. So over here you can see it is saying that it's the Instagram ID only, and the country from where it's hosted is IE. So IE is the country code name, you can say, and it has been ranked 15 and first seen in April 1999. So it's giving you the actual answer, and on top of that it also saying you from where it has been hosted. So you can get the detailed information over here. So for this particular Instagram website, there are 81 results present on it. Now what could be the other way, like how you can check for the detail phishing or the fraud which has been done till now and someone has been reported that or not. So for that we have one of the very useful website, that is Fish Tank. So fish tank is not only useful for checking the reports, that at what time this particular report has been submitted and by whom, but also you can submit a particular phishing or fraudulent stuff over here, and it will be provided with a proper track. So over here let's see that what are the phishing spams has been earlier reported. So over here it has been provided with screenshot, if any screenshot is there. Also they will be providing you the frames. Their technical details. So over here the technical details has been given, that from which particular network it has been hosted, and it is of what from where the domain is there, or any data is present on whois.com or not. Also you can view this particular site in the new window as well. So this two tool, or you can say the fish tank and this extension netcraft, is one of the very useful tool to get yourself secure. So this is where you can get yourself secure from any kind of phishing or scam, and also you can be one of the contributor on any of this site like your netcraft or on the fish tank, and you can save the other people from certain kind of fraud. So this is what your social engineering attack. Also one of the best part of identifying any of the social engineering is that over here just I said that you can check the URL, but also whenever you are seeing any kind of mail, just check for the particular information provided over here. So you can see that the hacker is not interested in the content writing. So over here if you can see in this particular content, it has not properly formatted. So from that itself you can check that this particular mail is not the actual mail or the official mail given by the Instagram, but it could be someone who is trying to spam you. So this is one of the way you can also check from getting in such kind of spams or such kind of fraudulent mail. Also you can check that particular mail from where it has been came. So sometimes it might happen that the username over here is right, but what about the mail which is provided? So sometime you have to check for the mail from where it has been sent, and that particular mail is proper or not. Also you can check the subject, and lastly you are having this option over here, so you can filter this message, and you can also check that from where this particular message has been sent. So this is one of the way you can secure yourself from this kind of social engineering attacks. So if you have any questions you can simply ask over here. So any one of you are having any questions or doubt, you can write down in the chat box. And instead of social engineering toolkit, if you are willing to gather more detailed information, you can use selfish. Selfish is something that is actually giving you all the information present on different social medias and platforms, and it's not only giving you the username and password, but also it will help you to display their geographical location, their coordinates, their phone numbers, and all different in credentials or information, not only about their personal but also their geographical location as well. So shellfish is something you can practice on your own, and it is one of the best GitHub repositories for your social account platform practice purpose. So this is the repository. You can see that this is the version 1.8, and this is what your GitHub repository will look like when you will see for the shellfish, that you are having Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, GitHub, Google, LinkedIn, and many more. So you can practice over here as well. So we are done for the day. So anyone having any questions can simply ask over here. Thank you so much guys for watching.